it is time for the next part of this video with our cute owl and our sort of autumnal, I guess it's a moon-shaped branch. We're going to start with the owl. Now I'm using Chromaflow pencils, you might remember from yesterday, and I said I would use more of the sort of browny greys on the owl, which is what I'm going to do. Just having a look at what we've got. The natural brown is probably the darkest, so I may just start with that. So here we are, natural brown. I'm thinking that this bit around the eye, I quite like the eye standing out, so I might just start here with my natural brown. And what I'm going to do, I'm not going to do that round circle. I may leave that just white, but I'm going to do each of these. If you see, I've started dark here and gone lighter towards the end. I'm going to do that, and that will draw your eye into the eye, which I think is quite cool for an owl, because the owl's eyes are always quite big. And it's a pity they've been coloured in black, really, because I quite like making owl's eyes quite colourful. I tend to do them yellow or orange, but anyway, never mind. I'm actually a bit later getting back to this than I thought. Same day, but I was going to have lunch and come straight back, but it's 2:45. But husband is going out to get going out to town, and he was getting delayed by this and that, so I was waiting for him to go, and he was procrastinating and finding all sorts of other things to do, and I've better have a drink and all that sort of thing. I was like, oh, I just need to get on. But never mind, I'm here now, and I'll still get what I wanted to do done, so that's good. I was colouring a picture from Rita Berman's book while I was waiting. See, I think that really draws you in. I could come in a bit closer actually, couldn't I? I was just thinking, I'm a bit far away. It looks a bit spooky with just one eye coloured though. We'll get the other one done quickly. But yeah, I was just doing some little bits and pieces of jobs that I needed to do, so that was okay. I was giving the kitchen a bit of a clean underneath the toaster. So many crumbs, it was so yucky. It hasn't been cleaned for ages, so I was doing that. And after lunch and tidying up a little bit. It's so untidy if I don't tidy up every day, which I hadn't been doing this week. Just stuff, you know. Oh, there's a remote control on the table, and there's a newspaper and a letter and a receipt and a, you know how it is, this and that and the other. And I was like, oh, a pencil, an eraser, someone's crossword, mine, and other things. It's like, come on, time to tidy up. Now, on my swatch chart, my next colour is Mocha, but I think it's a little bit too warm for what I'm trying to achieve here. So I'm going to grab the biscotti and do that as the next layer. I will go back and use the natural brown for some other parts of the owl, but I'm just sort of slowly evolving the ideas in my head, if that makes sense. And I may actually do some actual greys as well as these sort of browny greys. So I'm just sort of planning as I go. Well, that's not really planning, is it? Improvising as I go, I suppose. But anyway, it's all good. Yeah, he's had to pop out to get his pick up his regular meds. You know, nothing out of the ordinary. And but he likes to go out on his own sometimes, because he can go to shops and buy things that I wouldn't go in with him and I wouldn't allow him to buy. Last week he came back with a crystal ball. This week he's planning on going back to the fairy shop. I think he's going to buy some fairy dust. So, yes, and then I think, why am my house is getting so full of stuff. Anyway, perhaps it's time I had a bit of a clear out again. Make room. Actually, I do have to. I actually got a parcel myself today with some clothes in. My winter t-shirts are all getting a bit nasty either holes or sort of loose threads and things, or you know, that sort of are not coming up very clean, you know, all those sorts of problems we get. So I ordered some more because I had to order some hoodies for my son who has managed to go through the elbow, and as those are worn for work, then we need to, even though this is natural brown, they've got sort of a casual dress code. I feel that I'm going to fade it up to the middle from both sides. I felt that having something that was literally in tatters was not the best thing, so I ordered a couple more, but they need trying on to see if they fit first. And I need to do the same with the tops I ordered, although they're exactly the same size as the ones that I've got like it already, just a slightly different colour. I'm turning back to my biscotti. I'm going to do this sort of pattern here on the top. I think I'm going to do, let me think, darker at the top. I don't think it matters that much. Yeah, so I've got to try those on, because sometimes even if you buy exactly the same thing, it doesn't mean the sizing is perfect. I have before bought 2 pairs of trousers, same style, same size, exactly the same trousers, one fitted and one didn't, you know. I don't know whether the sizing was labelled incorrectly. I'm going to do these in this. I know this is as well. I just feel like I want this colour here, and for this bit. Yeah, so I think it was either incorrectly labelled or incorrectly made, one or the other. So it was a bit annoying. But anyway, so I always make sure everyone tries on everything and every part of everything so that they can make sure that it all fits, you know. So we need to do that soon so that I can send it back if need be. I'm going to do this outside part in a much lighter colour. I'm going to do it in the pebble, which is a much more of a grey. I think it'll work. So here it is, pebble. That's right. Sorry, just concentrating for a minute. So what else is going on? One of my sons at uni today, he's got a teacher he hasn't had before, I think, so that's going to be interesting. He's really confused actually by the one module he's got, which he would have had finished by now, that it was only 2 hours and there was a lecture and no seminar, and he's never had a class without a seminar before, and he's really confused as to why they don't need one. So I'll be interested to find out what he reports back when he comes home, actually, on that one. And then he's got a seminar later, which is a 2-hour seminar, which was part of a 2-hour lecture that he had on Monday. So it seems this class is split. It seems odd. I always used to have a lecture followed by a seminar, but anyway. Things change. I suspect I'm going to sharpen this one and just go back over that a little bit, make sure it's neat. I've also noticed a bit up at the top here. I missed a bit there. But yeah, so he had lots of homework yesterday too, because he's going to be working over the weekend. Yeah, I think he was hoping not to really, but didn't quite work out like that. I'm going to do the legs and then we're going to switch colour. I quite like this bit being quite pale, like that. I think the feet need to be a bit of a different colour though. Okay, so what colour for the wings? I think actually I am going to go back, sorry, pebble again for these 2 feathers. I feel like they would be the same as the bit around the rest of the head, like that. Now we'll do these chest ones. I'm going to use the biscotti for these. Just going to fade it downwards. But yeah, I think he'll be tired. He's got a lot to do at the weekend. And he's only got 2 days because he's in on Monday. His day off is Tuesday. And this one is the natural brown. He's going to want to sleep. But he's very lucky. If he needs to get up early, he just goes to bed early and he gets off to sleep pretty well. I think I'm going to do these top ones with the natural brown as well. So yeah, he's lucky. He can just go to bed early and go to sleep earlier, and then he's ready for an early. He doesn't like doing it, but he can. So yeah. But actually on a Thursday and Friday he doesn't have to get up till 9 o'clock because his class starts at 12:15. So and he leaves at 10:20, 10:30. So he's pretty okay, really. You know. I had to get up and make his lunchbox this morning, but of course I didn't have to do it that early. But I was woken up about 6 o'clock by some noises outside, and then I just had to use the bathroom in the end, and I think I woke my other son up, and then I just got up. But anyway, it was okay. He doesn't seem so tired this weekend, so that's good. He's got 4 days when he doesn't have to get up. It's all right for some, isn't it? Well, I don't mind I like getting up early. This is part of the problem is that I have to get up. I want to get up, and everyone else wants to stay in bed. And it used to be fine when it's just my husband because I could get up. It wouldn't disturb him. But it disturbs my son, and then he wakes up. He doesn't want to get up, but he wakes up and then he doesn't go back to sleep, so he doesn't get the sleep he could probably do with. So I try and stay in bed and let him sleep. But I've got some books by the bed, so I can read something. And I can go on Instagram and look at fun things. Sometimes play a few games. Read the news, probably not the best, healthiest thing to do. But I try to do it with a sort of the right sort of attitude, shall we say. So I don't try not to let it worry me. I just stay informed, and some of the stuff is just not, it's blown out of all proportion. It's done to make you panic. It isn't really as bad as it seems and all that sort of thing. So try and keep that in mind. I think these are too light compared with the rest. I'm going to darken these up a little bit. That's better. Okay, now this bit underneath I'm going to do with the biscotti. So back to our biscotti here. And I'm doing all the feathers the same way, you would have noticed, just fading them down a little bit. Yeah, I'm thinking about, I've got to do the cleaning tomorrow, and what we tend to do is one son goes with their father and shops and one stays and cleans. They'll have to decide. It's this Pebble. The problem is I find that neither of them get up. Whoever's helping me doesn't get out of bed, and I end up doing nearly all of it myself. So I can hear my son laughing next door. It's so funny. So I always feel like I draw the short straw natural brown, but I can't. If I go shopping, then I have to clean when I get back anyway, so it just takes up time. So it's a tricky situation. But anyway, I'll see who wants to do what later when we're eating our evening. Oh no, I can't. My one boy won't be back in time for tea. My son is laughing so much, sounds like he's crying. I know he's laughing. I can't tell the difference. It's so funny. It's lovely. It's lovely to hear. But yeah, so her husband brought home the sofa cushions. I haven't tried them out yet. He put them on the sofa. He said, oh, they feel so nice, but the problem is that makes the ones that you're sitting on feel too soft. So I shall have I haven't sat down yet because he didn't properly clear our stuff off the sofa, so there was nowhere to actually sit. This is biscotti, which I'm going to use for these long feathers. So yeah, I haven't tried them out yet, but he made me laugh. He said, oh, they're much more upright than the other ones. I won't fall asleep now. I'll believe that when I see it. I'm going to put the paler one in there, I think. The pebble. Oh, pencil's rolling away. I'm just blocking this one in. Don't really know what to do with it. Actually, I'm going to colour all that bit in biscotti. Here it is, biscotti. Yeah. So we'll see about this falling asleep thing. But I think he always blames the fact that he's not sitting very upright on the fact that he falls asleep. But I've known him fall asleep standing up leaning against a wall. So I'm not sure that that is a feasible excuse. We'll see. Here is the natural brown. I'm going to use that for these tail feathers. So I'm just going to fade down to the bottom. So yes, as I say, we'll see. But if he said it, it was a really good price, and it could make a big difference. So that's good. I don't sit on the sofa that much. Only when I watch the TV. I watch my dancing program. I watch there's a skating program that's on after Christmas that I watch, and I watch The Masked Singer, and that's about all I watch. So yeah, so I'm not using it that much, but we'll see. It'll still be nice to have it comfortable for guests and things like that. I suddenly feel very hungry. Why do I feel hungry? I had a big lunch. Well, actually, it wasn't a particularly satisfying lunch. So we've got beak and we've got feet and claws. I'm going to do the feet in a grey. I'm going to use the basalt grey. There it is. For the feet, basalt grey. But for the claws, I think I'm going to use a black. And I think I'm going to do the beak black. I think it will just work better. Quite sometimes I'm so often tempted to do beaks in yellow. Here we go, black. For these little claws. But of course, with all these greys and things, it looks silly. So I'm going to try and do that edge a bit darker, a bit lighter towards the middle, like that. Yeah. Yeah, I quite like that being left in white. If you don't want it white, you could use this the pebble. I'm contemplating whether to do that. I think I will. Yeah, pebble. For this bit. Quite hard to see whether I've actually covered it over or not. Okay, so now we have the lamps, the candles. Let's come down a tad. We can come in a bit closer. They're quite small. Okay, the actual candle holders, I think I'll do in silver, or sort of maybe, oh, sorry, I just hit the microphone. I'm going to use the Winter Lake. Actually, it's a nice cold grey, quite dark, and if we put more on the edge here and less towards the middle, sort of fading it right out, same on the other side, hopefully it'll look a bit like it's shiny silver. Do the same on the bottom. I'm just going to keep it all really simple and keep them all the same. These circles, we'll do those in a different colour. We might make them look like they're gemstones or something. I'm tempted to do them the same colour as the candles. What colour is that going to be? Don't ask me, I've got no idea. No idea at all. We are going for autumn, of course. Red, orange, that sort of colour would work. But I don't know if I want them to stand out. You know, if they're red, that's going to be such a big pop of colour amongst our sort of palish owl and things like that. And the flames are going to stand out enough as they are. I think I'd do the flames first, and then that'll help me choose. So those are the, oh, it's that end. Those are very basic silvery lanterns. You can use a darker colour like a black or a slate grey to put even darker edges, but I'm quite happy with it like that. And I think too many layers on such a small item could be quite difficult to do. So the top of my candle flame, I'm just examining this swatch chart. I'm going to use the pure red, just the tiniest tad. You know how much that is. Goodness. There we go. Then I'm going to go straight to the Autumn Blaze. So a dark orangey colour. We need it sharp. Extend that a bit. I feel like I need a magnifying glass. I think we're in the full-size book as well. Okay, now we want a lighter orange. I'm going to go for Flame. It seems like that would be the right colour, doesn't it? Again, needs sharpening. Flame. It's quite fine work. Then a lighter yellow. I'm going to go for Mango. This is sort of orangey yellow. Like that. And then, yeah, what's that? Yes, the amber gold. Perfect. I'm going to finish that off, so I'm going to go over everything with this. There we go. And then I'm going to colour in each lantern with some light or lamp. Sunflower. I use this so often, this yellow, it's so nice. Sunflower. And I'm going to use that inside here. There we go. They do stand out quite a lot, don't they? I think it won't hurt if I do a red candle, you know, because I think they're standing out a lot anyway. Pondering. I think I will do red. And I'm trying to think about background. It's tricky. It's got a lot of pale colours, and whatever we use some pastels, we could end up going over those pale colours. I'm going to use that pure red, and I'm going to do intense edge and then less towards that centre, so it looks like we've got a bit of a shine in the centre, which will help the candles to look more shapely and make them look like they're shiny wax. There we go, and I'm going to do these. It takes a bit of concentration with these. There we go. Now I'm having a think about background. Let's come out so you can see. There's absolutely nothing wrong with keeping it just like this. Absolutely nothing. I think it looks quite pretty. But I feel like I need to do something, just, you know, for the benefit of showing you something really. So I'm going to grab my Mungyo Pastels. I'm just going to make myself a bit of space, bear with me. Too much stuff on the desk, as is often, very often the case. There we go. Okay, let's take these, open these up and have a look. So I am thinking around the lights, we want some yellow to show that the light is coming out. But then we need to sort of fade into something else. It doesn't have to be nighttime, as I'd said before. Let's just get some yellow down and start. I'm going to use this really bright, but not the most intense yellow. Like that. Looks very fluorescent. I'm going to put it around my lamps and see what it gives me really. I don't really want to get it on my owl, but if I do, I do. Just will be one of those things. Son's laughing again. He's laughing so much he's made himself cough. Okay, so done this sort of surround, but now I need a bit more to sort of blend into those areas. And then having a look and a think, we could do sort of brownish colour to look like, oh, we've got a forest behind, which might work, and we could just do it around this sort of circle. That's what I'm wondering. Now I'm looking at my colours down here, which are a bit darker, like this one. That one might work. It's not too dark. I'm going to try it. Now, a bit of a problem we have is that the Chromaflows can tend to smudge a little bit, so to be a bit careful, because I don't really want red in my brown, but on the other hand, there is red in brown, so it's not going to be the end of the world. And this colour isn't too dark or dominant. Now I'm going to keep it within the branch down here. Like that. Now I realise this is a moon shape, so you know, you might be full of ideas of mystical colours, lovely silvery blues and moon type colours. That would be lovely, but I could put a bit in there. But this is supposed to be an autumnal type palette, was always my plan for this page. So we're sort of almost ignoring that this is a moon, and we're just almost thinking it's just part of a circle, which of course it might be. You know, we don't know. We can do it however we wish, and just you know, embracing that sort of circle shape like that. Just making sure I've got enough really. Now going back over a few areas. Oh, it's spat on the page there, look. Yak. Hopefully it'll dry and disappear. Ooh. Right, I'm going back to my yellow and doing a little bit more around my lamps because I can see some places where I've missed. Get a great view of my elbow. Can boost it up a little bit because it is light. There we go. Sorry, I'm not very chatty. It's a bit of concentration going on. Right. Just going to get a bit more brown to blend into some of that yellow here. Back to my yellow. I think I'm almost there. See, this bit isn't very rounded, that's the only thing. So I think I'm just going to attempt that. So to just come out here a bit with this yellow, like that. And then the brown. Do you have to remember which one you've been using? Luckily I have, because they're not labelled or anything. There we go. Now we've got a sort of circle. Yeah, I think I need a bit more behind these leaves here. Now I'm putting, you can see I'm putting it right over the top of the leaves. Sometimes the pencil resists the pastel if it's quite thick and shiny. Other times it just can work with it, it's okay, you know. It's as long as the colour sort of goes with what you're doing, which this obviously does, then it's okay to mix it in, I always think. Right, I am going to stop there. She says not stopping. Right, let's just pop these pastels away before I spill them. I have spilt them so many times, all over the floor, pastel all over the carpet. Yeah, it does vacuum up because it's just chalk, but even so, it's not ideal. Right, there we are. Let's just pop that out so you can see our picture without that. I can put it in there. There we go. So there is the finished owl. I do think it looks quite autumnal. It doesn't really look Halloweeny, but that isn't the vibe I really wanted to go for. As you know, I'm not a big fan. But we have that cute little owl, so I'm quite pleased. Oh, excuse me, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day and happy colouring.